So today we're doing springs on this Citroën C4. I'm still sick, but we got to get into it anyway. Time waits for no man. So before removing them, I just like to mark the location of them near enough so that when I put them back, I'll get them pretty much exactly where they were. So now we can just slip that out. Has these little washer tube here that connect just in here. So disconnect this side also. There we go. So to get that plug, there's a little tab on it, and you just lift up the tab like that, and then you pull the connector back, and then this is in a little down at the back, so you have to pull it forward and wiggle it, and then it will come loose. And there's the top mount that we need to undo to get the spring out. Hot damn. Man, that was tight. Never use your ratchet as a hammer. Very, very bad practice. The trick with these is cleaning the threads really well and lubricating them, and then they tend to come off no trouble. Note the orientation, and whoever did this last didn't put this back on, so we'll put that back on this as well. So what we want to do is just compress the spring to take the tension off of the top mount, and then we can remove that. So that's the old spring. I can take that off now. So this is the reason that I'm doing this job, even though this tutorial is for springs. I'm not actually replacing the springs on this because they're pretty much brand new. So somebody did this recently, and what they didn't do was replace this top mount bearing. And as you can see, it doesn't even have all the ball bearings in it. It's totally full of rust. And also you can see the bushing has just been ripped apart. It shouldn't look like that. So what we'll have to do is, the part of the bearing is stuck to the old mount. We'll knock that off, and then we'll refit everything back together. So it's just this little lip here that we want to knock off. It already looks a bit damaged on this one, so what I'm going to do is just spin that over the other side. Okay, and then let's see if we can separate them. There we go. That is the bit that we don't want. We mainly just want to clean this ring on the top. We could clean off all of the rust, but in truth, it doesn't really matter that much. So I've got some replacement Febby top mount bearings, and the bearing, sometimes in the packaging it's around the other way, just so that the dust lip is like concealed so it doesn't get damaged, but it has to go in that way. So it just pushes in, so this little ring here that moves is a separate piece. That goes on there, like that. So we can refit our spring now. There's a little stop just here that the pigtail of the coil sits in. Right, it's that way, isn't it? There we go. And then our top mount is the same. It's got a little locating tab here, and you have to push the spring into it. Ooh, come here. So hopefully you won't have to contend with this, but the last guy who did this, obviously that bush had already come apart. You can see where it all just like completely screwed, and rather than replace it, he just filled it with araldite or some kind of sealant or something. Anyway, the pin essentially was glued to this, so I had to grind and split that together off. But now it fits on nicely. And now we can commence with fitting everything back together. Make sure that spring locks in. There we go. There we go with that as well. good and tight. Moving nice and free. So I want to get this nut here snug down before we get the bottom started. So in order to tighten that down, you will need to counter hold it. So we have to slip this into the firewall and then just put the bolts back in. And we just want to grab that connector, push it until it clicks. There we go. Make sure it's in there properly. Now we reassemble the cowling. Looks like the last guy cut the back of the seal. I think that it's supposed to go all the way around, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost certain that it should lift off the top, not pull out. But anyway, here's what it is. We didn't do it. Our conscience is clear. Very good. You can hear the ladies in the office laughing. I wonder what that must be like to have fun at work. Very good. Go around that like that, and then don't forget to connect back up the washer hose. Oh, you'll be cursing. Now I think that this is the trickier part, is getting all this line back up, and it has to clip in like that. That's it now, we're done in the engine bay. We can shut the bonnet and then refit the wiper arms. So get those marks lined up with our tape, so we know they're in the right place. Near enough, might have to adjust them, we'll test that. Never forget to put the cap back on. Little touches like that. Good, if you ever have to take this off again for whatever reason, you'll be glad that that's there, because it will get really badly corroded. lastly, most importantly, don't forget to take it for a good test drive. Make sure there's no knocks or bangs. And then after your test drive, you know, at least take it for a few miles and then double check all the tightness of the wheel bolts again, and then you should be away.